नित्यानन्देश्वर समारम्भाम् नित्यानन्देश्वरि मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। इस समय हमारे साथ उपस्थित सभी दर्शकों और भक्तों का मैं प्रेम एवं आशीर्वाद सहित स्वागत करता हूं। I welcome all the devotees, disciples, samajis, satsangis, Srimahans, Mahans, Kotaris, Tanedas, sitting with us all over the world at this time through Nithyananda TV, Lotus News Channel, Sadhana TV, Janashri TV, Ishwar TV and two-way video conferencing, having Nayanadiksha in 32 cities around the world, 32 cities in many countries around the world, cities sitting with us in two-way video conferencing around the world, Devon, UK, Guadalupe, Rameshwaram, Houston, Kalahasti, Hyderabad, Gupta Kashi, Twain Moon, Hong Kong, London, Kashi, Los Angeles, Arunachalam, Jorpati, Nepal, Indrani, New Jersey, Dakota Dunes, Charlotte, Srisailam, Kuala Lumpur, Parani, Paris, Home Temple, Ohio, Prayag, Nithyananda Nagaramu, Hyderabad, Juarez, Mexico, Singapore, Singapuram, Tallahassee, Florida, San Jose, Madurai, Phoenix, Kanchipuram, Nithyananda Nagaramu, Hyderabad, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Toronto, Kailasam, Oman, Sivagangai, San Antonio, Texas, Tiruvanmiyur, Chennai. I welcome all of you with my love and blessings. Tomorrow we are starting the 25th Inner Awakening program. And today I wanted to expand how much the science of completion is required to remain sane in your day-to-day life. Please understand, I am defining insanity for any action which you have done, any thought you have had, any space you have cherished and entertained. If you are not able to handle the side effect and after effect of that, you are insane. Please listen. I am defining insanity. Any action you have done, thought you have cherished, space you have entertained, if you are not able to handle the side effects and after effects of it, you are insane. Look into the life. Look into the life. It is really unfortunate that every day you prove yourself to be insane. Please understand. One of the difficult thing is, after you prove yourself to be insane for 10 times, 11th time you give up on yourself and you think this is normal. And you use others' insanity to justify your insanity. I tell you, comparison is such a great healer for you. That is why you entertain comparison. When it hurts, you try to get rid of it. But it's a great healer and tranquilizer you are using. Comparison is one of the greatest tranquilizers human beings are using. It's one of the great tranquilizer. That's the right word I'll use. To keep you remain unconscious. To keep you in the same space of unconscious. To keep you aware in the space of unconsciousness. Comparison helps. Oh, all human beings are like this only. All are like this only. No. All are not like that. All are not like that. It's very unfortunate. It's really, really, really unfortunate. Understand that we justify others' insanity for us to remain insane. Just because others are unconscious, we come to the conclusion we can also be unconscious. No. No. Move your life from the pattern of unconscious and struggling. See, any guru, any master, any incarnation can give the signs. They can make you even realize, but you have to realize. Understand? You have to realize. Finally, the living has to be done by you, not by anyone else. No one else can realize it for you. You have to realize it. You have to live it. You have to radiate it. Last few days I am sitting and working on a complete syllabus up to doctorate on samyamas, on the whole yoga system. There are major 12 streams of yoga. The Natha yogis, Koraknatha, Matchendranatha, the Navanatha yogis, one sampradaya, Siddha Yoga Sampradaya, the South Indian great Siddhas, Shaiva Siddhas, Agatyar, Pulipani, Pogar, those great Siddhas, they have a unique stream of yogic tradition. And the yoga tradition by Nandi, Nandinatha Sampradaya, Thirukkayilaya Parambarai, Nandinatha Sampradaya, a great saint Tirumular, he brought it to the south. His tradition. And Patanjali, Patanjali's yoga tradition, totally major 12 streams of yoga is available. I am making a PhD course syllabus up to PhD. It's like a first diploma, then degree, post-graduation, then MPhil and doctorate. Collecting all the best of all these 12 traditions. It was never done before because unfortunately nobody had access to all this knowledge and access to the consciousness, enlightenment. There were few who had enlightenment, access to only Siddha Sampradaya. There were few who had enlightenment, access to only the Natha Sampradaya. There were few enlightened who had only access to Patanjali's Yoga Sampradaya. Fortunately, by the grace of all the yogis, first time the enlightenment and all these 12 traditions are meeting and merging in one brain and in one body. I am sitting and capsuling all these as the courses and programs. thanks to some of the great modern day masters, acharyas, translators like Swami Satyananda Saraswati, Lakshman Ju, and Lonavala Yoga Institute, Sri Ram Sharma of All World Gayatri Parivar, thanks to all of them and their amazing translations and interpretations. Only when I am designing this whole course, I am understanding human life does not need to have any suffering. Please understand. I used to tell this from my own experience and from various contexts. Human beings don't need to suffer, don't need to suffer. But when I look at this vast contribution by these great yogis, I was wondering, oh God, what an amazing, compassionate beings who left this knowledge for us, for this generation. When I remember their compassion, see, just for some disorder or disturbance in the eye, you have at least 150 techniques and kriyas and yoga. Any one, if you do, that's enough. The eyes will be cleared. Same way, most of the subtlest modern day mental disorders, our ancient masters 5,000 years before, Nandi clearly pens down the solution. Nandi is Mahadeva's first disciple. I can say close disciple. Devi is first disciple because Devi had initiation, only then Nandi comes to Mahadeva. What an amazing contribution. When I read and align, I only have one word in my heart, Pranamami Muhurumuhu. I bow down again and again. I bow down again and again. Some of the Swamis yesterday who came to see me, they said, what is this, Swamiji? You are just sitting in the midst of the books. Because I am sitting encapsulating this whole science. You guys can expect. I have given so many commitments to all you guys. Still, I have to deliver all that. But this I already started the work. So you can expect at least by Vijayadashmi, by Navaratri, on the complete works of yoga tradition, a clear course, a thorough courses on yoga, body, mind, breathing, anatomy, physiology, everything as per the yogic tradition, diagnosis, cure, very authentically, which works even now for human beings. You can predict a person's death based on some symptoms. You can predict a person how long he is going to live, unless otherwise there is an accident. all this whole science which even now works, we'll organize it. This will be almost like an encyclopedia of the yogic traditions of India. All the major 12 streams of Yoga Sampradaya, the best of all the 12 streams. But when I condense this syllabus and analyze and organize and put it, I had some of the insights which I wanted to share with all of you. That's the reason I even started this subject. First thing, you do not need to suffer. Second thing, you don't suffer because of your ignorance. You suffer because of your arrogance. Maybe the arrogance comes by ignorance. But if you understand your suffering is because of arrogance, you can do something about it. The moment you classify that as ignorance, you decide you can't do anything about it. Just ignorance without arrogance is never a suffering. Understand? Just ignorance without arrogance is never a suffering. It is the deadly combination of arrogance and ignorance is suffering. Deadly combination of arrogance and ignorance is suffering. That's the exact word I will use. Deadly combination. Deadly combination of arrogance and ignorance is suffering. If you just give up arrogance, life will be completely new. It will not be insane. One great thing with our masters, our yogis, such a amazing compassion and a thorough research and analysis and documentation. No modern university can be compared. The unbiased research approach of our Indian yogis. Please understand, in the modern day, any medical research is driven by the pharmaceutical company, which finally wants to bend the result as per their vested interests. Please understand, all your medications are not the result of pure research and analysis, survey. There is lot of mixture of economical reasonings, economical logic into your medications. I tell you, food and pharmacy mafia in the world. These two fellows, their vested interests guides all research. Understand? No scientist, no modern day researcher can be so unbiased, neutral and without any vested interests. Because these yogis don't even need food from people. They don't need anything. A king cannot threaten them. Hats off to our civilization, where kings have no place when it comes to the research and development. Politicians have no place. They can't even sit equal. such a great apolitical, unbiased, completely not influenced by the economical aspirations, because not only they kept themselves as poor, not wanting anything, they made it as a rule that their whole generation, their community will continue to remain poor, educating people. At least in my case, sometime I think, no, all my Swamis should live comfortably. Our Indian yogis did not even think of this. They said, no, not only we will remain in the space of poverty, we will make sure our disciples also continue to remain in the space of poverty. Maybe from the right context, not from the wrong context, right context. Only then they will be active, alive and contributing. I tell you, when you don't have wealth around you, you have some unique quality. Thus, you have to contribute for the sake of survival. Contributing just for the sake of survival, that mechanism, that methodology was adopted not just by Buddha. Buddha is a junior, very junior. Starts from Kapila. Buddha is initiated by Mahanirvani Akada. After he became popular, whether he disowned or his disciples disowned is different. But all his words you can see directly from us. Sometimes try to create their own organization, but all the words if you see it will be mine. Completion, authenticity. This Shivaratri also one fellow came. He has taken all my teachings and compiled some books and dedicated it to the formless eternal bliss Nithyananda. He came and gave that book to me. I said, did you learn all this from formless Nithyananda? He did not have an answer. I said, this knowledge is free. Don't even bother. I am not going to question you. In our Sampradaya, in the Hindu tradition, knowledge is free, but gratitude to the master is compulsory. In the Western tradition, knowledge is not free, copyrighted. Gratitude to the master is not required. These cunning fellows, they use very conveniently in the Hindu traditions, knowledge is free. Okay, great, take it. But gratitude to the master, what about that? This knowledge will not be helpful for you. Gratitude is very important. Acknowledging is very important. That is why you will see, even if I learnt something from somebody's translation, I don't forget to mention their name. I think even today's Satsang, when I started, I mentioned few names. Just because I learned from their translation. Understand, our rishis were such an amazing yogic contributors. Such an amazing contributors, yogis. In every step, they are unbiased, pure analysis, survey, research. The way they recorded the statistics, For the medicines or the kriyas which is going to work 100%, they use different word. Which has the probability of 80%, they have a different word. Which has a probability of 60% curing rate, they have a different word. So beautifully they are recorded. Sometimes I wonder the kind of a intelligence they had, the unbiased, unaffected consciousness they had. It is our responsibility to keep the whole thing alive. To keep this whole thing alive. Please understand. I was feeling, just only one stream of thought, yoga, I started organizing, already I am overwhelmed. Because the material is going to be almost like a encyclopedic volume. It will come around 80 to 90 volumes. To 90 volumes are the encyclopedia book size. If I condense it, I will be able to condense it up to 50. I am talking about diploma, degree, post-graduation, MPhil and doctorate. Still I have not touched the science of devotion, science of liberated thinking, all that has to start. But this itself is overwhelming me. Seeing the amazing contribution. Once all this syllabus is established, of course, I will surely establish it within next 2-3 years. At least this sign, the yoga and the yogic tradition, that will be established by Vijayadashami. I may add more, but the first level, the first cut will be prepared and presented to all of you by Vijayadashami. After that, I wanted in our Nithyananda Puri, one street dedicated to one tradition, where all those masters, deities will be created and kept, and their contributions will be carved in stone and presented, so that it is kept alive forever. People remember it forever. I wanted a huge library. It will be like it should be in the size of a mall, and each section will have that master who contributed, his deity. One thing be very clear, there is no need for you to suffer. Second, ignorance is not a cause of suffering. It is the arrogance which actually leads to suffering. If you understand that at least you can do something about it. You can do something about it. Essence of today's satsang. You do not need to suffer. Ignorance is not the main cause of suffering. It is a deadly combination of ignorance and arrogance is the root of suffering. Ultimately, whatever may be the issue, our masters have found solution. It can be solved. I bless you all. Let you all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching and causing eternal bliss. Nithyananda. Thank you.
Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nithyananda.org. www.youtube.com/Life Bliss Foundation.